Good morning. Glad you're with us on Mile High Living. I'm Gina Bellich. Well, if you or a loved one suffers from cognitive decline, memory loss, dementia, or even early stage Alzheimer's disease, then you do not want to miss what our next guest has to offer. With us, the communications director from the Integrated Health Center of the Rockies, Amanda Vargas. She is here to share the amazing progress that has been achieved in the field of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's care. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Good
to have you back.
New Year.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things, Amanda, we talk about here is really when we talk to doctors, when you've talked to doctors, people, all of us, tend to not really fear chronic disease as much as we do cognitive decline, Alzheimer's. Why is that?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that, Gina. The first one being that it's the only one of the nation's 10 most common causes of death in which there is no effective treatment. And secondly, not only is it fatal, but it robs these victims and their families of their lives long before they're actually gone. So if you think about it, it's the only disease in which the patient dies not just once, but twice. The first time when they lose their memory and all mental faculties, and then again when the rest of them finally die. So it's an excruciating experience for everyone involved.
Well, a better way to educate people is this free cognitive decline dinner event that you have coming up. It's actually tomorrow, January 8th at 6 p.m. All you have to do is call the number you see right there, 303-974-1087, to see if you qualify. Seating's limited, so if this is something that interests you, you need to pick up the phone and just go ahead and call right now. All right, now, what have you learned when talking to doctors? You have found that what's a typical experience then for a lot of these people who are dealing with this, the dementia, especially Alzheimer's disease? What are they going through?
It starts fairly innocently in most people. Maybe they're just forgetting things here and there, they're misplacing items like their wallet or their keys a few times a day, or they just notice they're not quite as sharp as they once used to be. And what's really interesting is that a lot of these patients will chalk up the symptoms to the aging process and that they're just senior moments, but they're really, that couldn't be further from the truth. And you know, as time goes on, these symptoms get worse and other people begin to notice. So maybe they're having difficulty putting names to faces, they're forgetting their grandchildren's names, they're walking into rooms and forgetting why they walked in there, and it's happening multiple times a day. And it becomes very apparent very quickly that something's wrong with their brain.
Now, a lot of them decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to go see my doctor. They take that step. A lot of them don't, but a lot of them finally do. And when they do, what do they experience when they actually talk to their physician?
Well, it really just depends on what the patient is experiencing when they go in and how diligent that provider is. And up until recently, there really wasn't any definitive testing that would allow a clinician to make a concrete diagnosis. So it's not unusual for these patients to get the runaround. And if and when they're formally diagnosed with a condition like dementia or cognitive decline or early stages of Alzheimer's disease, they're often told it's too late. So they have to get a power of attorney assigned and they need to get their affairs in order because things are about to go downhill.
But things are improving, and you've got to tell me everything that you guys are seeing at IHCR.
Okay. Well, we now know through science and clinical experience that the symptoms of these conditions are not only preventable, but they're actually reversible as well. And we now know what's causing these conditions, and it's not the amyloid plaquing in the brain like we thought it was all along. And in addition to that, there's new technology and a new treatment approach that is allowing the symptoms of early stages of Alzheimer's disease to reverse with a success rate of over 90%.
Ooh, 90. Okay, don't go anywhere. I'm going to get right back to you. If this sounds interesting to anyone at home and this is something you want to know more about, then this is what you need to do. There's a phone number right there on your screen. You need to pick up the phone and call 303-974-1087. Tomorrow, they're having, on January 8th at 6 p.m., they're having a cognitive decline dinner event that will give you more information, but you have to call and reserve your space because seating is very limited. Now, let's get back to this. You said 90%.
That's right.
Explain a little bit more about that.
Well, we're seeing patients going back to work, they're able to drive again, they're remembering their family members' names again, their brain fog has lifted, and they're able to live normal lives like they were able to 5, 10, 15 years ago and regain their brain function. It's phenomenal.
Well, any news is good news when you start to talk about improving your quality of life, especially for something like this. So who should be going to this event, maybe looking into this, telling their friends and family about this?
Well, if you or someone you love is suffering with any of these conditions like dementia, early stage Alzheimer's disease, or cognitive decline, I highly recommend that you give our office a call to see if you qualify for this free event. It's not anything that you'll want to miss.
All right, and like we said, the phone number's right there, so if you need more information, this is what you need to do. Reserve your seat for the free Cognitive Decline dinner event tomorrow, January 8th at 6 p.m. Call this number, 303-974-1087, to see if you qualify to attend this free informational event on reversing cognitive decline and the symptoms of early-stage Alzheimer's disease. IHCR paid for this segment. Don't go anywhere, folks. Stay with us. Good job.